Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I'm Andy Signor. There's been a lot said about Will Smith, but man, Jim Carrey just put it in such eloquent words. I just want to play with you, and I want to react with you guys as we watch it. Here's Jim Carrey doing the press tour for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, where Gayle King presses him. What did you think about Will Smith, what happened then, and what happened afterwards?
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
There was some question today about if anyone else had walked from the audience and done that, they would have been escorted out by security or maybe even arrested. The police asked Chris if he wanted to file charges. They asked Chris, do you want to file charges? And Chris apparently said no, he did not.
He doesn't want the hassle. I'd have announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million because that video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous. You know, that insult is going to last a very long time. If you want to yell from the audience and disapprove or show a disapproval or say something on Twitter or whatever, you do not have the right to walk up on stage and smack somebody in the face because they said words.
No, I agree. I think we all agree on that. I just thought, Jim, that it escalated to that. You know what I mean? That it escalated to that level.
It didn't escalate. It came out of nowhere because Will has something going on inside him that's frustrated, and I wish him the best. I really do. I don't I don't have anything against Will Smith. He's done great things. But that was not a good moment. It cast a pall over everybody's shining moment last night. You know, a lot of people worked really hard to get to that place and to have their moment in the sun and to get their award for the really hard work they did. And it is no mean feat to go through all the stuff you have to go through when you're nominated for an Oscar. It's a gauntlet of devotion that you have to do. And you know, it was just a selfish moment that cast a pall over the whole thing.
I mean, bravo.
Jenna, do you agree?
What's interesting in there is, like, as we watch it, like, Gayle King almost, it doesn't suit the narrative that Gayle was sort of ready for. Gayle was sort of there ready to defend and stuff and chiming in and didn't know what to say. She's done some good work. I'm not here to completely bash her. Her R. Kelly interview was dynamite. But man, Jim Carrey's been through a lot. A lot of people have accused him of things, whatever, and he's gone through a lot of just real big drama with in his past. You can just tell the man has put a lot of work in and has been working on himself and trying to be a better person. That's the vibe I get through all the stuff I see lately in Jim Carrey. Man, I adore Jim Carrey. I worshipped him when I grew up. Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, The Mask. This man was as big as it got. And then he got to some dramatic roles with Truman Show, Man on the Moon. I was like just blown away by his range from just the extreme comedy to then the dramatics, even the majestic. He did such wonderful work. So I've been a fan for a long time. You know, he's had it up and downs in his career, his movies and so on. But his words here are just so wise, and he's right. Why are we giving Will Smith such a pass? And why is Hollywood allowing it? Will Smith went on television and committed a crime. You can say whatever you want, but it's not allowed to do over words. Now, we're allowed to be offended. We can, you know, people are offended all the time in this day and age. We're offended over everything. Everything is offending everybody. But my God, it's very clear cut. As Jim Carrey says it, you cannot walk up on stage and when you hear words you don't like. We have to draw a line in the sand somewhere in this society that's been going nuts with its oversensitivity at times, and everybody's offended. Sometimes it's valid, sometimes it's not. And the reality is, bravo for Jim Carrey standing up for Chris Rock. There's been other comedians who have been standing up. Jeff Ross said an amazing comment, and we did a whole breakdown of a lot of them. I'll put it up here. Jeffrey Ross and in fact, I want to put it up here again, actually, because it's really important to see. This side of things is serious. We can't just ignore the fact that there are rules in society that you can't pass. And here's Jeffrey Ross. Worth reading again. I worship Chris Rock. I cried when I saw Smith attack him because I was watching my idol live on television. Sorry, make sure that's bigger. I was watching one of my idol live I was watching my idol live out a comedian's worst nightmare on live television. Rock should get a Nobel Peace Prize for keeping his hands down and not escalating the situation. Class act. And it's true. When Will saying, keep my wife's name out of your mouth, oh my God, have you guys seen the memes of all of the things Chris Rock could have said about keeping out of Jada's mouth? He could have just destroyed him in that moment. But he let the calm, collected nature of him get it. The professional in him get it. Will's having a moment. Okay. It doesn't excuse it. Will Smith just completely demolished Chris Rock on that show. If Jada wasn't feeling the joke, Smith should have put his arm around her and let Rock finish. Facts. You can support your wife without escalating to the place that Will Smith did. Anyway, I also have alopecia. It sucks. But when people make jokes, I laugh because that's life. I mean, on top of it all, as if it couldn't be relevant for Jeffrey Ross, the roast master, the man who makes fun of it, everything. He's got alopecia. And he's still like, yeah, it sucks. But we got to laugh at life. Life gives you lemons. What can you do? We just sit there and say everything's off limits? No, we can't do that as a society. So, man, bravo to Jim Carrey. When I saw those reactions, it really made me a fan because it's wild where we've come as a society. People escalating this to the place of defending him, of like, oh, who cares? While I have it here, I got to give props to Lil Nas X. There was... The hypotheticals were indeed getting insane, guys. Just a reminder that if Will Smith had slapped Betty White for a joke she made, however insensitive, she easily could have fallen backwards, cracked her skull, and died of a brain. Same with Bob Saget. It's never okay. I'm team take it back. Like, what? This was real? So anyway, a lot of people, including Lil Nas X, just a reminder that if Will Smith had built a time machine, went back in time and slapped Harriet Tubman as a baby for a joke she made, however insensitive, she easily could have fallen backwards, cracked, and never freed the slaves. Violence is never okay. He went on in a whole rant about it that Lil Nas X and I had a Twitter beef. I don't know why, but anyway, I will applaud when applauding is due. And imagine if he had slapped Peppa Pig and then chopped them into tiny bits and minced onions and dashed paprika and just a sprinkle of Gouda, then cooked it for breakfast on a warm Sunday morning. This is the extent of where it's gone. But we can't lose the fact, and we can't lose sight of not going up on stage and doing that to somebody because of words. And so kudos, Jim Carrey, for saying it out loud. I think a lot of people are thinking it, and a lot of people are afraid to say it. People aren't at the level of Jim Carrey. When you're comfortably in a franchise and you're asked about something, you can speak your mind freely, like he's done. It's got him in hot water with some people, obviously on the right, because he's not a fan of Trump and gotten all into that nonsense. But politics aside, what he's saying here is sound, and it's hard to believe that we're having an argument with 50% of the world right now justifying what Will Smith did. It's not okay. And the fact that so many people are justifying it is why I sense Jim Carrey's frustrated, because Hollywood has lost its way. It's crazy the extent that they're going to support each other and pat each other on the back, and enough is enough. So bravo, sir. I am still a fan, always been a fan, and I love that he kept it real. What do you guys think here in Jim Carrey Keep It 100? If you like reports like this, please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for alerts, and smash that like button. We give you all the information on this and so much more. We fight for celebrity pop culture justice all the time here. Some important cases I hope you guys will follow. In fact, lots more to discuss today live, every day live, here on Popcorn Planet.